fuck. Oh, I've got the classic version out. It's the fucking classic version.
I can't tell what he's saying.
Britain's coming up. No, no, never, no more.
100% on Britain on that left hand side.
Well,
Probably could, wouldn't he? But he'd have to bend in.
but those two assists he's got for Leonard have been good.
It's that shit centre half in the first half. Really passed the
50. Come on, lads.
Penalties are our worst enemy, aren't they? No fucking
Finish! Yeah! A bloody good goal, that.
Number 8, Sam
Smodic, oh! Brilliant game, Moran, hasn't he? Fuck off!
Substitution for Blackburn Rovers, replacing number 30, Jake Garrett, and number 33, Samir Talalovich, and number 22, Zach Yosenin, and number 27, Lewis Travis. Dylan Marchandler, number 17, Hayden Carter. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support this evening. Our next game here at Ewood Park is on Sunday.
Well then, from Harrogate to a 5-2 win at home v Cardiff, and Chelsea away to come. What a result. Was really happy with that. Was disappointing to obviously let the couple goals away. I think it was the second one in particular. Our defence was just wide open, which obviously, you know, we have been liable, I would say, or it has been a bit of a consistent thing at the minute. Just teams walking through our midfield and defence recently anyway. But it shows tonight, it shows against Harrogate, we have a lot more goals in this team than I think people give us credit for. Obviously, the problem last season was goals. It's the reason we missed out on playoffs at the end of the day was our lack of goals. And it seems it's something Thompson's addressed in the pre-season. Whether the trade-off of that is being a bit more vulnerable at the back. I mean, obviously we've seen, you know, that we're opting for a one-man defensive midfielder who's not even really a defensive midfielder. Obviously, we've been playing Adam Wharton there. Tonight was Sondre. And playing like the more defensive midfielder is up with the attacking midfielder, really. I mean, you know, in the league games, Travis is playing as a winger half the time. And tonight, it was Garrett who adopted that tonight. But speaking of Garrett, he's been absolutely brilliant playing in that position. He's shown that he's got way more to his game this season than I thought last season. I thought last season he was, you know, your Travis replacement in a double pivot. He's going to come in, he's going to break up the play, he's going to get stuck in, but he's showed this season that he's actually a good player. You know, he's scored a good few goals now in the cup, and also can really play the ball, to be fair to him. So seems a very well-rounded midfielder from what I can see. So fair play to him. He got us the first goal tonight. Arna gets the second, 2-2. Unfortunately, he did miss the penalty. Well, not miss, it was saved, I suppose. But a bit disappointed maybe Samir didn't step up for that one. He were having a word with Arna, but I think Arna maybe pulled rank there, and I'm sure Samir will be taking the next one if he is on the pitch. It is interesting to kind of see who does become our, you know, penalty taker now that Diaz has obviously gone. You know, Smodics had that one away at Rotherham, didn't they, and couldn't convert it. So I suppose time will just tell who is going to be the man who can step up and handle the pressure, essentially. Moran tonight, though, was absolutely class. 2 goals, 2 assists. Got the third and fourth after Arna missed the penalty quickly. Within 30 seconds or so, we got a corner and he just bangs it in. Absolutely brilliant, and we need to see more of that in the league. Before tonight, I weren't convinced by him, I'll be honest. didn't really see what all the hype was about from what I have seen from him. He has started a couple games already. He's featured off the bench, and yeah, hadn't really seen anything to kind of get me off my seat. But tonight definitely did. Obviously, it is weaker opposition. Cardiff didn't put their first team out, but likewise, we didn't have our first team out either. So in terms of the support he's getting on the pitch, it wasn't the support he would usually get. But yeah, absolutely ran the show tonight, did Moran. Yeah, we're really happy for him, and hopefully he can kick on like that in the league, because he could be a big player for us. I mean, Brighton fans were waxing lyricals about how good this lad is, and tonight showed for sure. And then Marconde gets the 5th. Back playing football. Hedges is out for 4 months after his injury the other day against Ipswich, off after being subbed on 10 minutes prior. So it's a real big opportunity now for Marconde to really try and stake a claim in this team. Obviously, he's going to be getting opportunities off the bench now. It will be Sigurdsson and Moran starting more than likely on the wings. But to get his chances over Dolan, and there's no reason he shouldn't be. Dolan's been really poor recently. He didn't obviously get in the team tonight. He didn't even feature off the bench. What says a lot to me. He come on the other day and he was playing down the middle. It just didn't work. For me anyway, I would be putting Marconde in over Dolan. I think he's getting his mojo back a little bit. Marconde, he's gained some confidence. He needed the game time essentially, and we're giving it him, to be fair. And I do hope he cracks on, because I mean it was such an exciting signing when we made it. Spurs fans were fuming that they'd lost him, and unfortunately we haven't really seen anything. Obviously coming in and getting injured straight away was horrendous luck. But yeah, hopefully this can be the season he kind of breaks through, I suppose. But yeah, really positive tonight. I think Scott Wharton was back to his best. There was a couple of hiccups here and there, but he looks really solid tonight. After, I mean, it was probably the first good game he's had in since going back to last season. Really, he's been poor for that long, if you ask me. Hill with a brilliant assist for Garrett for the first, and looked fairly solid. Rankin Costello did a job. Pickering did a job. Made a good tackle getting back as Cardiff were countering. To be fair to him, Britain come on for the second half, so I assume it will be Britain and Pickering starting again at the weekend, seeing as Joe played the entire game. Sondre looked, I don't know, he looked a bit shaky at times in that position just in front of the back four. Couple really poor passes at times, and don't really know what's happened there. Obviously, he started the first game of the season in that double pivot with Trav. And yeah, since then he's been playing in the under-21s and not had a sniff, has he? I don't even think he's been brought off the bench since that first game. So yeah, maybe just finding his feet, I suppose, new country and whatnot. But time will tell. Garrett and Moran just in front of Sondre. Already touched on them both. Marconde in front of them, Arna, and yeah, Samir up front, who, to be honest, looked a bit lost tonight. I think the game just kind of passed him by, if I'm being honest. I know obviously we play in a way that the striker doesn't get involved all that much. It is more down the wings. But yeah, he didn't really do anything of note tonight, to be honest. What wasn't ideal, but again, it's a massive step up for this kid. He's gone from playing, semi-professional, fourth league German football to, obviously jumping up to championship level. What's one of the hardest leagues in the world. So it's going to take time, isn't it? Shame he didn't get the penalty. Like I said, it could have done him a bit of good. That give him a bit of confidence if he had tucked it away. But yeah, Smodic's come on. Jolson, or however you pronounce his name, come on. It's a shame he didn't do a bit more today. He was really good in the previous cup games. Really impressed with him. So yeah, I'm probably missing one or two other subs, but not to mention the keeper. Completely forgot about him. Made a few really good saves tonight. The 2 goals he conceded, I don't think, I don't think Pears would have saved them. I don't put those down on him. The second one in particular, like I said, it was like the parting of the Red Seas. It was just so easy for the Cardiff man to have the shot. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I think I would be starting Leo personally against Leicester on Sunday. It's just not been good enough in those away games, in particular for Pears. Ipswich cost us at least 2-3 goals, didn't they? Plymouth, that 3rd goal was horrendous, where he's come out and he gets lobbed. And it's annoying because you look at Sunderland at home. He made a couple really good saves. I wouldn't say any of the goals were really his fault, but it just seems he crumbles, unfortunately, away from home. So yeah. You can't have that. You can't have a liability. I think personally, if Leo was in there against Ipswich, we could have at least got a draw from the game. We've spent, 3/4 of our budget on this keeper this summer. The other quarter went on Samir. So for me anyway, if you're spending 3/4 of your £1 million budget on a keeper, he has to be starting, doesn't he? Pears has had his chance, and he's been decent in some games, but he's been really poor in others, and you can't have that inconsistency if you want to make the playoffs. So yeah, I think let's give Leo a chance, see what he's all about in the league, and hopefully he takes the chance with both hands like a keeper should.